All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am istherenoonelse, and the video I'm bringing you today, I wanted to provide like an update on the state of PvP for the console players. We are on the eve of Flames of Ambition, which I will be doing a review that will come out tomorrow, but it's been a lot of fun for me. Long story short, it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of people ask for build videos for different builds for different classes. I've had some people demand build videos. I want to let you guys know that I will be posting build videos, but when stuff changes drastically as this patch has so far, I need to test everything. Like, I have an idea of what's really good, but I don't like posting something and saying, hey, this is my build, and then all of a sudden I find out a week later that something's better, and then I have to redo a build video. I feel like I'm wasting your guys' time, and I feel like it's almost like I'm not trying to, but that's just generating clicks on my channel that I don't really want to do. So when I post a video, it's when I've exhausted all options. I'm not saying it's the best, it's what I found is best for me. And so I don't have a lot of gear on PC right now. I don't have a lot of classes on PC right now. And so I can't do the build videos in the as quickly as you guys want, because I don't have everything to test. Now that they will be coming soon because I have all my characters on console. It's coming out tomorrow, and I'll be able to do that then. So the build videos will be coming. This video is to help you guys all in the meantime, because I know when a meta shifts this drastically, when so much gear gets removed, you guys want to know, hey, what do I run? What is it like? What am I preparing for? Because yeah, you want to know what's going on in PvP. So that's what this is. That's what this video is for. I'm going to provide an overview. I'm going to provide my thoughts on different gear sets. And guys, we all play different things, right? We play no CP Cyrodiil. We play CP Cyrodiil. We all play in, like, some of us play solo. Some of us play in a duo, medium-sized group, large group, whatever. Like, depending on the group that you're in, depends on the build layout that you have. And so I can't just provide a Stamina Necromancer build that's going to work for all of you guys. But I can talk about it in this avenue, and I could say, hey, if you feel like you need tankiness, I would use stuff like this. If you feel like you want more damage, I would use stuff like this. And so that's what this video's for. It's going to be more helpful to the entire community. It's just going to be more of a guide for PvP and stuff that I found out so far after playing for a week in Cyrodiil on PC. So with that being said, guys, let's dive into it. Well, first of all, damage is at an all-time high. Damage is very, very high in Flames of Ambition, which is a good thing. Higher damage, less tanks. Less tanks, more fluid PvP. But that means if you make a mistake with blocking or dodge rolling or anything like that, you get punished severely for it. And so there's a lot of reasons for high damage this patch. Number one, the biggest one is they lowered crit resist. Last patch I had over 3,000 crit resist. I hopped on my character and I had 2,000. And lowered crit resist means that when people crit, they're going to do more critical damage to you, for those of you guys that don't know. And so lower crit resist is huge for burst. It's huge for burst. And so classes that can utilize crit well are going to burst harder. And when people burst hard, people die quickly. Burst is how you normally kill people in PvP. So the lower crit resist is huge. There's also just lower resistances. So the changes to the armor weights, light armor, you're more vulnerable to physical attacks, and heavy armor, you're more vulnerable to magical attacks. And so it's actually having quite an effect in PvP. So you see a lot of people last patch in Markarth and previous patches, they're running 5, 6, 7 heavy because that's what you would run. Well, if you run 7 heavy this patch, you are prone to potentially take an 18k crystal fragment from a Magsork. And so the traditional way of building tanky with 7 heavy means that you're prone to taking 7% more damage from mag specs. And so I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just saying that it's some people are opting away from it. So it means there's a lot less ways to just build in flat mitigation by running heavy. And so people are less tanky that way. The other thing is a lot of the gear that's available this patch from a defensive standpoint doesn't lend itself well to higher resistances. Good sets, like really good defensive sets like Pariah, that give you 10k resists, don't work currently. So the best one is Fortified Brass, which only gives 3k for the 5-piece. And so most people in PvP this is just a most, due to the nerfs to Nord, due to like Fortified Brass being the best resistance set, most people are maxing out at 25, 26, 27k resistances. So people aren't stacking 30, 40, 50k resistances because it's a lot harder to do. Now you can get higher than that. I'm just saying on average, that's where most people are at. And so people have lower critical resistances, people have lower resistances, and they're taking more damage. They also reduce some of just the flat mitigation that you get in the old CP tree. So you're taking more damage that way. All these sorts of things are adding up to where people are taking more damage. And it's a good thing. In my opinion, it's a good thing. It's more fast-paced environment. It's more enjoyable. That's just the way I like it. If you're a tank and you've been immortal, or you're seemingly immortal running like Crimson and other stuff like that, you're in for an awakening and you're going to have to make some adjustments. So that's the best way I'm going to say it. Recovery feels about the same. So whatever recovery you're at, it'll more or less feel the same. You are going to be taking more damage, so maybe you're going to want to build in a little bit more recovery depending on the fights that you're getting into. But yeah, overall there's not a huge impact in recovery from my experience. Best offensive sets. People have been asking, like, what's the build? What's the build? Well, it depends. It really does depend. I know that's a tough thing to hear, but there are a lot of good sets that exist. There are a lot of good sets that are available. In my opinion, out of the ones that we know definitely work, the best offensive sets are Spinners and Spriggans. Like, those will give you the best bang for your buck. They're known to be the best flat. The higher somebody's resistances are, the better that pen is going to be valuable for doing damage. So those sets will always be valuable. Now, with that being said, due to lower crit resistance, due to lower resistances, I've been toying around with the idea that crit value builds could be more valuable. I haven't fully tested it. And so if you want just a startup build for Tuesday, or for the start of Flames of Ambition, whenever you hop on, just get Spinners or Spriggans, Magicka Stamina, whatever. Just get that and start with that, and then you could toy with other stuff if on a specific class you think it's better. Obviously, Hulking Draugr's not bad. Obviously, like stuff like Hunding's Rage isn't bad. Those offensive sets aren't bad. But Spinners and Spriggans will give you more damage. Deltia did a great video a while back when these sets first came out, comparing Hulking versus Spriggans, and Spriggans is more damage, Hulking is more healing. So it's going to be your preferences. Which one would you rather prefer? Obviously, a set like Hulking gives you more max stats. More max stats means more sustain in a fight too. Those are the choices. Now, defensive sets. Because damage is so high, I think in general going 2 offensive sets is not a good idea. Like if you're in a ball group or you have a really good healer who's just an absolute monster, or if you're running in a 24-man group and you're only fighting 5 people, you don't need to worry about defensive sets because your defense is in numbers. So if you find that you don't need a defensive set, don't run a defensive set. Run more offensive sets, kill people faster, have fun with the high tooltip numbers. If you find that you do need a defensive set, the top 3, in my opinion, if we do the top 3, it would be Beekeeper, Impreg, and Fortified Brass. Those 3, in my opinion, are the top 3. I think I would put Endurance over Fortified Brass. I know it's only a 3-piece, but the health recovery on the 3-piece for Endurance is pretty valuable. It's actually really nice. It all depends on what you want. Like Beekeeper is definitely a good option. You can get a lot of health recovery. You get health recovery through the CP tree. You get health recovery through your food. You get health recovery through your potions if you're using like tripods and something gives you the 20 to 30% more. So stacking health recovery is a good way to survive in a higher damage meta. Impreg is obviously valuable because if your critical resistance is lower and crit is more bursty, having Impreg, reducing that critical resistance can also be valuable. Fortified Brass, buffing your overall resistances can also be nice. So there's multiple different ways to go about doing it. I don't know which one's best yet. Like I said, I don't know for sure. I've had some good experience running like 4 to 5k health recovery builds. I've obviously run stage 3 vampire in the past where you don't run health recovery, and so you adjust your gear. And so I don't know. Those are the things I'm going to test in the next week. This is the time to tell you that I will be testing on Twitch. And so I will be streaming again on Twitch, going through all this stuff. So if you want to see live testing to see what I do to go through different gear, you can come check it out, come say hi. Yeah, those sorts of fun things. But yeah, those would be the sets. If you just want like a startup build like a super easy one to do. You can do Hunting's Raid and Shackbreaker. Like a lot of these sets are really close to each other. A lot of them are really, really close to each other. So if you just want to craft a couple sets and away you go, you can. Spinners and Spriggans is traditionally pretty cheap. I don't know if it's cheap anymore. I would try to get it. It's pretty easy to get them all for Spinners, for Spriggans. It's really easy to get a lot of this gear. So those, in my opinion, are the best sets. Top 3 best defensive sets, like I said, Beekeeper, Fortified, Impreg. Best offensive sets, Spinners, Spriggans, and then sets like Hulking Draugr or Hundings, kind of depending on what you want. Do you want a little bit more critical value, which I think you can argue? Do you want a little bit more max stats, you know, maybe to buff like a Power of the Light or something like that? Maybe you go Hulking Draugr. Leviathan and Mother Sorrow look very tempting to me. I actually think that there's big things there, but I don't know for sure. So yeah. That's my overall thoughts on PvP. In my opinion, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more active and reactive. If you make a mistake, you pay for it, which isn't really the case in the current meta. If somebody makes a mistake that you're fighting against, they die. They don't have a set proc and save them. They don't have an RNG cooldown. They just die. And so in my opinion, you get a lot less frustrated with this meta than you do at Markarth. It's just more enjoyable overall. So yeah, that's going to be my overall gist for you guys. I would go out and I would go try and purchase some of these sets, whatever you think works best for you. I know, armor weights. Let's talk about armor weights. The last thing that we're going to talk about. A lot of Magicka classes are going like 4-3. So 4 heavy, 3 light, or 3 heavy, 4 light. Because basically, if you're taking 1% more physical damage with light and you take 1% less physical damage with heavy, if you do 4-3, you offset it and you only take 1% more in either direction. And so they changed how a lot of the passives work. You don't need 5 of each armor set in order to get the 5-piece bonus. They split it up so you can run 4 and you can still get some pen. Not the 5-piece bonus of pen, but they split it equally, so it's closer. So for Magicka classes, a lot of people are going 4-3. I don't have a Magicka class that I've been playing with, but I will tell you for a fact that I will be running 4 light, 3 heavy to start with. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to see if that works. Stamina classes, it's all over the place. I've seen some people still run 7 heavy. I've seen some people still run 5 heavy. I've been in 5 medium. I know Lobo's tried 6 medium. I know Lobo's tried 7 medium. There's a lot of variations in Stam, kind of depending on what your gear layout is. Are you dodging more damage? Are you blocking more damage? Like there's a lot of stuff there. It's just, you have to know if you're wearing heavy, you're going to take more damage from Magicka classes. And if you're in a meta with a lot of mag sorks, you might not want to wear a lot of heavy. So that's kind of the gist. If you're running across a lot of stamina classes, maybe you slot some heavy. It just kind of depends on how you survive defensively, if that makes sense. So these aren't the best answers. Like, I'm still learning, but this is what I've learned, and so that I can give the best information to you guys that I know right now. I will be giving more information later as I get it, but yeah, this will get you started in the right direction. Hopefully it'll get you thinking about your builds. Hopefully it'll get you stuff crafted. And if you still don't know, like I said, I'll be streaming tomorrow, Tuesday, on Twitch, and we will be theory crafting Magicka Templar to start with. So Magicka class, I've already been doing some stamina stuff. We'll work on that build, and maybe by next week or later this week, we'll have a build video. So yeah, that's going to be in this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below. I will do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.